2. Old shelter cats hugged moments before being put down, but shocked, vet immediately stops because they were just 2 old cats, forgotten and overlooked, waiting for a fate they didn't deserve. In the dim light of the shelter, they huddled close, unaware that their last moments were nearing. But then, something extraordinary happened, a moment that would change everything. Just before the end, they embraced, and what followed would leave everyone in disbelief. Before we dive deeper into this heart-wrenching story, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your subscription means the world to us and helps ensure that the stories of these beautiful souls, often silenced, reach more people. We appreciate your support, so please, subscribe now. The shelter was eerily quiet, the kind of silence that draped over everything like a heavy fog. In the back corner, a small, dimly lit room housed 2 elderly cats, Luna and Oliver. Their fur was matted, their eyes clouded with age, yet they remained inseparable, a testament to their deep bond. Luna, a calico with a gentle spirit, rested her head on Oliver, a gray tabby whose whiskers trembled with each breath. They had spent years in this place, waiting for a family that never came, their spirits dimming with each passing day. Today, however, was different. The air felt charged, as if the universe itself held its breath. The vet, Dr. Elaine, made her way down the sterile hallway, her heart heavy with the weight of her duties. She glanced at the clipboard in her hand, the names and numbers blurring together, but the realization loomed clear. Luna and Oliver were at the top of the list. Unadoptable, their time was up. As Dr. Elaine approached their kennel, her stomach knotted. She had seen countless animals come and go, but there was something about this pair that struck her deeply. The way they leaned into each other, the trust evident in their intertwined bodies, filled her with an overwhelming sadness. Just moments before the procedure was set to begin, she noticed the 2 cats shift. Luna nestled closer to Oliver, and in a moment that seemed to stretch on forever, their foreheads touched in a delicate embrace, a gesture so heartfelt it brought tears to Dr. Elaine's eyes. She froze, her breath catching in her throat. It was as if they understood the gravity of the moment, as if they were saying goodbye in the only way they knew how. The bond between them was palpable, and Dr. Elaine felt an undeniable urge to pause, to reconsider. This was not just a routine procedure, it was a decision that would end their lives. Just then, a voice broke through the tension, calling her name. It was Jess, a shelter volunteer who had watched Luna and Oliver's story unfold over the years. "Dr. Elaine, is everything okay?" she asked, her eyes wide with concern. But Dr. Elaine couldn't respond. She was caught in the moment, captivated by the love radiating from the 2 cats. It was a moment of raw emotion that no one in the room would forget. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, fate intervened in the most unexpected way. The decision was no longer clear, and Dr. Elaine knew she had to act. But what would she do? The answer would shock everyone involved, changing the course of Luna and Oliver's lives forever. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the shelter grounds, the air was thick with an unspoken tension. Inside the small, dimly lit room where Luna and Oliver resided, the 2 old cats continued to huddle close, their bodies intertwined, a living testament to their unwavering companionship. It was a scene that had played out countless times over the years, but today, the weight of their reality pressed heavily upon them. They were not just 2 aging cats. They were 2 souls clinging to the last threads of hope in a world that had long forgotten them. Outside the kennel, staff members moved about with a sense of urgency, their voices hushed but filled with determination. "We can't keep delaying the inevitable," a shelter worker named Mark said, shaking his head as he looked at the clipboard filled with names of animals scheduled for euthanasia. "It's just not fair to the others." His colleague, Sarah, leaned against the wall, her heart aching at the thought of Luna and Oliver's fate. "They've been here for years, Mark. They deserve a chance," she replied, her voice trembling with emotion. In the corner of the shelter, a few children peered through the glass, their eyes wide with curiosity. "Look at those kitties," one of them exclaimed, pointing at Luna and Oliver. "They look so sad." The other children nodded, their innocent faces reflecting a mixture of concern and wonder. "Why don't they have a home?" another child asked, tilting their head, trying to understand. "Maybe they're waiting for someone to come get them," a boy suggested, his voice barely above a whisper. The simplicity of his words hung in the air, tugging at the heartstrings of those who heard. As the children continued to watch, the shelter staff moved in and out, their expressions grave. Some whispered among themselves, speculating about the cat's past. "I heard they were found abandoned, left to fend for themselves," one volunteer murmured, glancing at the two felines. "How could anyone do that? They're so sweet," another replied, shaking her head in disbelief. The conversation swirled around the shelter, each word a reminder of the realities facing animals like Luna and Oliver. But as the hours passed, the atmosphere shifted. Jess, the dedicated volunteer, stepped into the room where the cats lay, her heart heavy with the knowledge of what was to come. She knelt beside the kennel, her eyes welling with tears as she reached out to stroke Luna's fur. "You two are so special," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Luna tilted her head, purring softly, as if sensing Jess's presence and the love she held for them. Oliver, too, leaned into the gentle touch, his eyes closing in contentment. "It's not fair," Jess continued, her voice breaking. "You've been through so much, and you still have each other. I wish I could do more." Just then, she heard the soft sound of a door creaking open behind her. Dr. Elaine emerged, her clipboard clutched tightly in her hands. She had witnessed the bond between Luna and Oliver grow over the years, and today, it felt insurmountable. "Jess," she said softly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, "I just can't do this. They deserve better." The tension in the room thickened, and the weight of the decision hung heavily in the air. The staff exchanged glances filled with uncertainty, each person contemplating the lives of these two old cats who had become the heart of the shelter. "Maybe there's still a chance for them," Jess suggested suddenly, her voice filled with newfound determination. "We can share their story. We can reach out to the community and try to find them a home." "Doctor," Elaine nodded slowly, her mind racing with possibilities. "What if we create a video, something to showcase their bond, their story," she proposed, her voice gaining strength. "If we can show people how special they are, maybe someone will step forward." Jess's eyes lit up with hope. "Yes, let's do it. Let's give them a chance to find a family." As they discussed their plan, the children outside continued to watch with rapt attention. "What are they talking about?" one of them asked, curiosity piqued. "I think they want to help the kitties," another replied. "Maybe they'll find them a home." The children's excitement was palpable, and their innocent belief in the power of love and compassion filled the air with a sense of possibility. Meanwhile, Luna and Oliver, unaware of the conversations swirling around them, remained close, their bond unbreakable. In that small moment, they shared a gaze filled with understanding, a silent promise that no matter what happened, they would face it together. And just as that thought crossed their minds, something miraculous occurred. they instinctively leaned into each other, their foreheads touching in a gentle embrace, a gesture that spoke volumes about their connection. "Did you see that?" Jess exclaimed, her heart racing. "They're saying goodbye to each other." "Doctor." Elaine's breath caught in her throat as she watched the scene unfold. It was a moment of raw emotion that seemed to transcend everything else. The love radiating from the two cats wrapped around everyone in the room, a reminder of the beauty that exists even in the darkest of times. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. As the embrace lingered, it became clear that this was not just a farewell. It was a declaration of love and hope. Dr. Elaine felt a surge of determination wash over her. "We can't let them down," she declared. "They deserve a chance to live, to find a home where they can continue to share their love." The staff rallied around her, their hearts ignited with the same passion. And so, the plan was set into motion. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Luna and Oliver's story began to unfold in ways no one could have imagined. Their bond, once overlooked, would soon become a beacon of hope for others, proving that even in the face of despair, love has the power to change lives. As the video was shared across social media platforms, messages of support poured in from all corners of the community. People were captivated by the story of the two old cats who had waited so long for a chance at happiness. The shelter's phone began to ring with inquiries, each call a reminder that compassion could spark change. In the days that followed, the shelter staff worked tirelessly, sharing updates and heartwarming moments of Luna and Oliver together. Each post served to deepen the emotional connection with potential adopters, and the response was overwhelming. It became clear that the world was ready to embrace these two old souls, and soon the shelter buzzed with excitement. As the community rallied around Luna and Oliver, the bond between them only grew stronger. They were more than just cats awaiting adoption. They were symbols of resilience and love in a world that often forgot the value of compassion. And as the days turned into weeks, the anticipation of finding their forever home loomed closer, a testament to the power of hope and the unbreakable bonds of friendship. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the shelter's atmosphere buzzed with a newfound energy. The video showcasing Luna and Oliver's poignant bond had gone viral, capturing the hearts of many across the community. People sent in messages of support, and inquiries about adopting the two old cats flooded the shelter's phone lines. Hope began to blossom, and the staff worked tirelessly to connect with anyone interested in providing a forever home for the inseparable duo. But amidst the excitement, an unexpected twist was about to change everything. Just as Dr. Elaine was preparing to announce a potential adoption, a tall figure appeared at the entrance of the shelter, his presence commanding attention. It was Mr. Thompson, a wealthy local businessman known for his philanthropic endeavors. He had come to the shelter before but had never shown interest in adopting. Today, however, he looked determined and focused. "Dr. Elaine," he called out, striding purposefully toward her. "I need to speak with you about those cats." The room fell silent, all eyes on him as the staff exchanged curious glances. Dr. Elaine felt a mixture of hope and apprehension. "Is there something I can help you with?" she asked, her heart racing. "I've seen the video," he said, his voice steady. "Luna and Oliver are extraordinary, and I want to adopt them." Cheers erupted from the staff, and Elaine felt a rush of relief wash over her. But as Mr. Thompson continued, the mood shifted. "But I need you to understand something," he added, his expression serious. "They come with a condition." "What kind of condition?" Dr. Elaine asked, her brow furrowing. She could sense that something was off. "I want them, but they will have to be kept in my estate's animal sanctuary. It's a beautiful place, but I have specific guidelines about how I want the animals cared for." Dr. Elaine's excitement faltered. "What do you mean by specific guidelines?" she inquired, feeling a knot tighten in her stomach. "I want them as companions, and I can't have them roaming freely with the other animals. They'll need to be kept in a separate area, away from the rest. I can provide the best care, but they won't have the freedom they deserve." The room grew tense, and a hush fell over the staff. Jess, who had been listening closely, stepped forward. "Mr. Thompson, with all due respect, Luna and Oliver have been through so much. They've spent years together in the shelter, and they deserve to be free and happy, not confined to a space away from other animals." Mr. Thompson's face hardened. "You don't understand. I have an image to maintain. I can't have the public seeing them among other animals. They are valuable to me, and I will ensure they are well taken care of, but they must fit into my world." Dr. Elaine's heart sank as she processed his words. She felt a surge of anger and sadness. "So, you're saying you want to adopt them for your image rather than for their well-being?" she challenged, her voice steady. Mr. Thompson shrugged, unfazed. "It's a business decision. They'll be well cared for, but they won't have the kind of freedom you're envisioning. It's the best I can do." The room erupted in a mix of outrage and disbelief. The staff exchanged glances, their expressions mirroring Dr. Elaine's turmoil. Luna and Oliver had touched so many hearts, and to think they might end up in a gilded cage was too much to bear. Just then, a soft voice piped up from the back. It was a young girl, no more than 10 years old, who had been observing the conversation with wide eyes. "But they love each other. You can't separate them. They should be together, not locked away." Mr. Thompson's expression softened for a brief moment, but he quickly regained his composure. "I appreciate your concern, but I'm making a decision that benefits everyone involved. I want to give them a home, but it will be on my terms." Dr. Elaine felt a fire ignite within her. "If you can't promise to keep them together and provide the life they truly deserve, then we cannot let you adopt them. They are not just animals to be showcased. They are living beings with emotions and a bond that should never be broken." Mr. Thompson's expression darkened, and he scoffed. "You'll regret this decision. They could have had a life of luxury." With that, he turned on his heel and strode out of the shelter, leaving a cloud of tension behind him. The room remained quiet for a moment, the weight of his words hanging heavily in the air. Dr. Elaine took a deep breath, her heart racing. "We can't let them go to a place where their love will be stifled. Luna and Oliver deserve to be free, to live out their days together in happiness." As the staff rallied around her, Jess spoke up. "What if we explore other options? The video has gone viral. Surely someone out there will understand their special bond and want to adopt them together." Dr. Elaine nodded, her resolve strengthening. "Let's share their story far and wide. We need to find someone who sees them for who they truly are, not just as an opportunity for status." With renewed determination, the team set to work, crafting heartfelt posts and sharing updates about Luna and Oliver's journey. The community had already rallied around these two old cats, and now they would fight for their future. Days turned into weeks, and as the shelter buzzed with activity, the calls for Luna and Oliver never ceased. But one day, as they were preparing another post, a message came through that would change everything once more. It was a request from a local animal rescue organization that specialized in providing sanctuary for senior animals. They had seen Luna and Oliver's story and wanted to offer them a permanent home, one where they could roam freely, play, and be loved without the constraints of a gilded cage. The organization had a beautiful facility with sprawling grounds and a dedicated staff that understood the value of companionship. Doctor. Elaine felt tears of joy well up in her eyes as she read the message aloud to the staff. "This is it! This is what we've been waiting for!" Cheers erupted in the room, and hope surged anew. As arrangements were made for Luna and Oliver to be transferred to their new home, the staff felt a wave of relief wash over them. They had fought for these two souls, and now they could finally rest easy, knowing that their love would continue to thrive. On the day of their departure, Luna and Oliver were gently placed in a cozy carrier, surrounded by blankets and toys. Dr. Elaine knelt beside them, her heart full. "You two are going to be so happy," she whispered, stroking their fur. "You've found your forever home." As the carrier was loaded into the vehicle, Luna and Oliver exchanged a glance, their bond unbreakable. They had faced uncertainty and despair, but together they had overcome it all. With their future finally bright, they were ready to embrace a life filled with love, freedom, and the joy of being together. And as the vehicle drove away from the shelter, the staff waved goodbye, knowing they had played a part in something truly beautiful. Luna and Oliver's story had taken unexpected turns, but in the end, love had always prevailed. Their journey was just beginning, and they would face it together, side by side. As the days passed in the shelter, a sense of hope blossomed amidst the uncertainty. The videos of Luna and Oliver's heartfelt embrace had gone viral, igniting a spark of compassion in the community. Calls flooded in, each one a lifeline for the two old cats who had lived so long in shadows. But just as the light began to break through, an unexpected storm loomed on the horizon. Dr. Elaine watched the operations unfold, her heart swelling with gratitude as inquiries poured in. But deep down, a gnawing fear lingered. Would anyone truly understand the depth of Luna and Oliver's bond? Would anyone be willing to adopt them together as they deserved? Each time the phone rang, she held her breath, hoping for a call that would bring good news. One afternoon, as Dr. Elaine sorted through paperwork, Jess rushed into her office, her face pale. "Dr. Elaine, we need to talk. It's about Mr. Thompson." "What about him?" Dr. Elaine asked, her stomach twisting with unease. "He's been making inquiries again. He's not giving up. He wants to come back and check on Luna and Oliver," Jess said, worry etched on her face. Dr. Elaine's heart dropped. Mr. Thompson had made it clear during his last visit that he saw them only as a status symbol, not as the living, breathing souls they were. "We can't let that happen. We need to protect them," she replied firmly. As the shelter staff convened to discuss their next steps, the atmosphere grew tense. Each person understood the weight of the situation. Luna and Oliver had become more than just cats. They were symbols of hope, love, and resilience. But now, with Mr. Thompson lurking in the shadows, their future felt precarious. "We have to find a way to keep them safe," Jess urged passionately. "We can't let them go to someone who sees them as objects rather than companions." Dr. Elaine nodded, feeling the weight of her responsibility. "We need to keep their story alive. We must show the world how special they are and that they belong together." Just as plans were being made, the shelter's phone rang again. It was a woman named Clara, and her voice crackled with urgency. "I saw the video of Luna and Oliver. I want to help. I can foster them until we find a permanent home," she said. Hope sparked in the room, but there was still apprehension. "But can you keep them safe from Mr. Thompson?" Dr. Elaine asked, her voice steady but laced with concern. "I can," Clara replied confidently. "I have a fenced yard, and I know how to keep them secure. I promise to care for them and find them a loving family." The shelter staff exchanged glances, contemplating the potential of this new arrangement. Dr. Elaine felt her heart lift, but the shadow of Mr. Thompson loomed large. "All right, let's move quickly. We need to get Luna and Oliver out of here before he arrives," she instructed, her voice firm. As they prepared for the transfer, the atmosphere buzzed with a mix of excitement and fear. Jess helped gather supplies, her hands trembling slightly as she packed toys, blankets, and food. "I just hope this works," she murmured, glancing at the cats nestled together, blissfully unaware of the chaos around them. When the time came, Dr. Elaine and Jess gently placed Luna and Oliver into a cozy carrier. "You're going to a safe place," Dr. Elaine whispered, her heart aching with the thought of their journey. With the carrier securely in hand, they slipped out of the shelter, the world outside breathing a sigh of relief. But just as they reached the parking lot, the unexpected happened. A luxury car screeched to a halt, and out stepped Mr. Thompson, his expression a mix of determination and entitlement. "What are you doing with my cats?" he barked, his voice dripping with authority. "Doctor," Elaine felt her heart race as she stepped protectively in front of the carrier. "They are not yours. They deserve a home where they will be loved and cared for," she declared, her voice trembling, but resolute. Mr. Thompson's eyes narrowed, a calculating glint flashing within them. "You have no idea what you're doing. They could have had a life of luxury with me," he snarled, taking a step forward. "Luxury at the cost of their happiness," Dr. Elaine shot back, her heart pounding in her chest. "They've lived in a shelter for years. They deserve to be free, to run and play, to be loved for who they are." The confrontation escalated, emotions flaring as tension crackled in the air. Jess stood beside Dr. Elaine, her heart racing as she felt the weight of the moment. "You don't understand the bond they share. They are family," she added, her voice steady despite the circumstances. Mr. Thompson's expression hardened, his voice dripping with disdain. "You think you can keep them from me? I'll make sure you regret this decision." Dr. Elaine felt a chill run down her spine. It was clear he was not going to back down easily. "We'll fight for them," she declared, her voice unwavering. "They deserve better than you can ever offer. They deserve to be together, to be loved." As Mr. Thompson took a step closer, a wave of fear washed over Jess. She glanced at the carrier, where Luna and Oliver were nestled together, their eyes wide with confusion. "We can't let him take them," Jess whispered urgently. Suddenly, a group of supporters from the community appeared, having heard the commotion. "We're here for Luna and Oliver," one of them shouted, standing beside Dr. Elaine and Jess. "You can't take them away!" The crowd surged, a wall of support forming around them. Mr. Thompson's eyes widened in disbelief as he surveyed the scene, realizing he was outnumbered. "You think this will stop me?" he shouted, but his voice wavered. Dr. Elaine felt a rush of determination. "This is not just about Luna and Oliver. It's about love, compassion, and the right to choose a life filled with joy," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. With the community rallying behind them, the tide began to turn. The support grew stronger, each person voicing their commitment to fight for the cat's well-being. The moment felt electric, a powerful surge of unity against the looming threat. Mr. Thompson, realizing he was losing his grip, took a step back, his expression shifting from anger to uncertainty. "You'll regret this," he spat, turning on his heel and storming away, leaving behind a tense silence. Dr. Elaine took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift momentarily. The crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating the small victory. But deep down, she knew this wasn't over. Mr. Thompson would not give up easily, and they needed to remain vigilant. As the community continued to rally around Luna and Oliver, Dr. Elaine felt a sense of renewed purpose. They would protect these cats at all costs. The battle was just beginning, but together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. With hearts intertwined, Luna and Oliver remained blissfully unaware of the conflict that had unfolded around them. In their eyes, all that mattered was the bond they shared, one that would carry them through to a brighter future. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the shelter, hope flickered brightly, illuminating the path ahead. As Luna and Oliver settled into their new temporary foster home with Clara, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of relief and hope. The two old cats had finally escaped the looming threat of euthanasia, and they were now in a place where they could begin to heal from the years of neglect and uncertainty. Clara adored them, showering them with love and attention. But little did anyone know that another twist was waiting just around the corner. A week into their stay, Clara noticed something peculiar. Luna had a habit of staring at the window, her eyes wide and alert. It was as if she were waiting for something, to happen. Initially, Clara brushed it off as a quirk of the elderly cat, but as days passed, she began to feel an unsettling sense of foreboding. One afternoon, while preparing lunch, Clara heard a faint meow coming from the living room. She rushed in to find both cats staring intently at the front door, their bodies tense and ready. "Hey, what's going on, you two?" Clara asked, chuckling nervously. But her laughter faded as a knock echoed through the house. Clara hesitated, her heart racing. It was an unusual time for visitors, and she felt a sudden chill run down her spine. Gathering her courage, she opened the door cautiously. Standing there was a tall woman with piercing blue eyes and a stern expression. "I'm looking for Luna and Oliver," she said, her voice commanding yet strangely familiar. Clara's heart sank. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm their previous owner," the woman replied, crossing her arms. "I want them back." Clara felt a rush of emotions flood through her. How could anyone have abandoned these two sweet souls? "They've been through so much," Clara replied, her voice firm. "They deserve better than to be tossed aside again." The woman's expression hardened. "I didn't abandon them. I was forced to give them up due to personal issues. I thought they were dead, but I've recently found out they were alive. I want them back." Clara felt a wave of anger wash over her. "You don't get to just claim them after all this time. They need stability, and they need love." As the two women faced off, Luna and Oliver remained eerily quiet, their eyes darting between Clara and the stranger. It was as if they sensed the tension in the air, each heartbeat echoing the uncertainty of their fate. Clara felt a surge of protectiveness rise within her, and she stood her ground. "They are safe here. You can't take them." But the woman's gaze softened slightly, and for a fleeting moment, Clara saw a glimmer of remorse in her eyes. "I know I made mistakes," she admitted, her voice wavering. "But I've changed. I can give them a good home now. They deserve a second chance with me." Just then, a surprising revelation hit Clara like a bolt of lightning. "You're their previous owner," she said, her voice low. "But why didn't you come back for them sooner? You've allowed them to suffer for years." The woman clenched her fists, her frustration palpable. "I had no choice. I lost everything. I was trying to get back on my feet, and I never thought—" Her voice trailed off, tears welling in her eyes. Clara's heart softened momentarily, but she couldn't let her guard down. "You may have been through a lot, but that doesn't erase the pain you caused them." As they stood there, the tension thickening the air, Luna suddenly broke the silence. She stepped forward, her gaze fixed on the woman, as if she recognized something deep within her. The moment felt surreal, and Clara felt her heart race. "What are you doing, Luna?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. The woman knelt down, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry for what I did. I never wanted this for you. I thought I lost you forever." Luna approached her cautiously, sniffing the air. And then, to Clara's shock, she rubbed her cheek against the woman's hand, marking her scent. Clara's heart sank. Could it be? Could Luna still harbor feelings for this woman, despite the years of abandonment? Oliver, sensing something was amiss, joined Luna, standing protectively beside her. Clara felt torn. Part of her wanted to protect them from any further hurt, but another part recognized the bond they once shared. "I can't just let you take them away," Clara said, her voice trembling. "They've been through so much, and they need time to heal. They need to know they can trust again." The woman nodded slowly, her expression softening. "I understand," she replied, her voice filled with regret. "But please, give me a chance to show you I've changed. I'll do whatever it takes to make it right." Clara hesitated, weighing the gravity of the situation. "What does that look like?" she asked cautiously. "How can you prove you've changed?" The woman took a deep breath, grounding herself. "I'll arrange for a home visit. I'll show you my life, my new stability. I'll even commit to regular check-ins to ensure they're happy and healthy. I just want a chance to make amends." The room was laden with silence as Clara pondered the proposal. Luna and Oliver, sensing the tension, curled up together, their bond undeniable even in the face of uncertainty. Clara felt the weight of responsibility press down on her. She wanted to ensure their happiness, but could she trust this woman? "I need time to think," Clara finally said, her voice steady. "But I promise you this. If I decide to let you back into their lives, you will have to show me every step of the way that you're committed to their well-being. They deserve that." As she closed the door, Clara felt an array of emotions swirling inside her. She had never expected to face the very person who had once abandoned them. The revelation stirred up hidden prejudices and assumptions, forcing her to confront the complexities of love, forgiveness, and second chances. Meanwhile, Luna and Oliver remained blissfully unaware of the turmoil surrounding them. They nestled closer together, their bond stronger than ever, a testament to the power of love in the face of adversity. Clara knew that whatever decision she made, she would fight fiercely for their happiness and well-being. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Luna and Oliver's story was far from over, and they would continue to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together.